Alright, guys, I'm kind of on a roll today. Planting crops for fall storage. The countryman hath a provident and gainful family, not one whose necessities must be always furnished out of his shop, nor their table out of the market. His provision is always out of his own store, and agreeable in the season of the year. Antonia de Vera.
You don't know where he is?
Bandit!
He's missing.
Our first attempts at storing vegetables for the winter were more or less incidental. We'd grown a big long row of carrots and beets and had extras left over in the fall when it was time to clean up the garden for the winter. We brought the surplus root crops into our cool dirt basement room and kept them there in cartons covered with burlap bags. Gradually we learned how much more our garden would do for us. By spending a little more time planning and planting, we found we could produce as many as 33 different kinds of vegetables for winter storage.
Jimmy's too experienced.
For this variety, no one vegetable must carry the burden of being a daily staple, and we don't tire of our stored bounty.
Michael Russo?
Most vegetables that we plant for fall storage may be sown as succession crops.
So yesterday, he seemed genuinely surprised by the orders. And you bought them.
This practice makes efficient use of both garden space and soil nutrients. For example, nitrogen left in the soil by the peas and beans promotes leafy growth of fall cabbages.
You know what? I'm wasting my time with you. You
and kale. See, this is why I say the research is so important because of things like that. The whole process of dovetailing spring, summer, and fall crops can be intricate, but most satisfying to work out. Let's see now. I planted spring peas on the edge of the garden where soil was easy to dig early. Now that they're finished, I can put it in kale, which should also be at the edge of the plot so it doesn't get plowed up at the fall cleanup time, and which needs a good supply of nitrogen. As we experimented with growing and keeping different vegetables, we discovered what the experts had known all along. The vegetables to be stored keep best if they're harvested at their peak of maturity, neither underdeveloped nor past their prime. Producing vegetables that are harvest ready when weather has turned cold enough to provide good storage conditions takes a little planning, but the results are worth every minute spent with pencil, paper, and seed catalogs. Luckily, cool fall weather keeps many vegetables on hold so that they don't grow as fast as they would in summer, thus providing a comfortable margin. Carrots that are ready to harvest in September are just fine for winter storage. Even cabbage that heads in September will usually hold in a cold climate for winter eating. Many storage vegetables, in fact, grow best during the cool days of early fall.
You're not going to want to eat
lettuce, escarole, and corn salad, which would have bolted seed in July and August, grow crisp and leafy in September and October. Cabbage, collards, and kale.
100 unsolved murders.
Yeah, that we know of, and then there's more coming in.
Got to pause that. Sorry, guys. Cabbage, collards, and kale put on exuberant new green growth. Parsnips, salsify, and Brussels sprouts show their excellent, true flavors only after frost has nipped them. Light affects the development of some vegetables too. Cold crops like broccoli produce best during short days. Bandit! Give me the spray bottle. Really, Bandit? It's a good thing I'm not going to get up there right this second. Cold crops like broccoli produce best during short days. Soybeans are also short day plants. Decreasing day length triggers their flower formation. Special winter radish varieties produce good roots when they are short, unlike their quick-growing summer radish cousins, which may develop only a thin, scraggly root when the sun sets early. Enthusiasm for digging, planting, and even weeding seems to come naturally in the spring. The impulse that in March often carries us away with its insistence that we nurture some green thing must sometimes be summoned with some willpower in June, July, and August, when weather is hot, weeds are persistent, and the whole burgeoning garden is crowded with productive life. Fall frost seems far away in July when one must weed early in the day to avoid the baking sun. But that is just the time when many good fall-producing crops should be started. As we gardeners like to remind each other, part of each season is spent preparing for the next. After a few years, the wheel of the year takes us with it. Once you've pulled homegrown leeks in November and offered fresh green root cellar salad for Christmas dinner, you find yourself ready to make summer plantings too. Even if they must be deliberately scheduled and dutifully carried out, perhaps when you don't really feel like it. Think of it this way: summer plantings carry the garden forward and keep it productive for the second half of the gardening year. The half you miss out on if impulsive spring plantings aren't succeeded by deliberate summer sowings of durable roots and sturdy leaf crops. This year, for example, my garden has been an orphan of sorts, for I've been too busy helping with house construction to keep it weeded and consistently replanted. I'm not proud of the way it looks this fall. Lamb's quarters 5 feet tall tower over the carrot row. But lamb's quarter is edible. Remember, that is wild spinach, and it's great in salads, and it's very, very nutritional. Higher in nutrition than spinach. A carpet of cheese mallow has invaded the cabbages. The ducks have munched on one patch of escarole, and the other patch is not blanched. I haven't had a chance to tie up the leaves. Nevertheless, the few hours I devoted to renewing the garden in June and July have kept the rows producing. Under all those weeds, I can still find the following vegetables this second week in November: carrots, escarole, head lettuce, comfrey, Chinese chives, remember comfrey is medicinal, cabbage, broccoli, Brussels sprouts, leeks, winter radishes, beets, parsnips, kale, parsley, and Jerusalem artichokes. Hi! In other years, I have also had rutabagas, kohlrabi, salsified, chard, and turnips. Hi, baby boy. Sometimes it's hard to find room in the summer garden for your fall crops. And, in my experience, young seedlings sometimes struggle when planted in the row in summer's heat. For these reasons, I've gotten into the habit of starting seedlings in many of my fall crops in flats. Okay. I keep the flats on the porch where I can water them and tend them until the seedlings are about 2 inches high, with sturdy stems and several pairs of leaves. Then I transplant them into spaces in the garden, often into a just cleared row where I've pulled onions, and sometimes into spots where an early planting is finished or failed. This gives me an additional 2 weeks growing time for early crops in the garden and ensures a good start for the seedlings. The usual transplanting precautions are especially important in summer heat. Whenever possible, I move seedlings into the garden on a cloudy day. If rain is expected, I find planting just before a shower preferable to planting after rain. One is less likely to compact soft, wet soil by walking over it, and the young plant is naturally watered into place. I always pour a cupful of water in the planting hole too, of course. Hi. New transplants need some protection from the hot sun for their first 3 to 7 days. I often use berry baskets, which cast a light grid of shade, but let sun shine through too. A leafy branch also works well. Hi, honey. Either placed lightly over the seedlings or stuck in the ground to cast a shadow. Summer transplants usually need to be watered several times in addition to the watering you gave them when setting them out. Mulch them as soon as you can, too, to hold moisture in the soil and control the weeds, Once I start canning in August, I find that weeds often get ahead of me, so summer mulch is especially good crop insurance. When sowing seeds directly in a row, I usually water the seeds in the open furrow and then draw a 1/4 inch to 1/2 inch layer of fine soil over them. This helps to prevent crusting of the soil. Plants that have a delicate foliage like carrots often appreciate the additional protection of a thin layer of dried grass clippings or fine light hay scattered over the row. Summer planting for fall harvest takes a bit of gumption and persistence, but once started, it becomes a habit. The sight of a row of roughly blue-green kale, flanked by just heading cauliflower, tender crisp fall head lettuce, and wrist-thick leeks, all lightly silvered with dew on a snappy September morning, will do much to confirm the habit and your own respect for yourself as a gardener and provider. I am busy, absent-minded, and sometimes get behind in my weeding. If I can raise this kind of fall abundance, you can too. All right, the next one is called Good Keepers, and that was it for planting crops for fall storage. And I will go ahead and get off from here, and I'll get this up there, and I will see you guys in the next video. Remember to do your research. So important, guys. I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye.